well, what can we say about the experience with football fans? Is well, in Poland, football fans are, um, as it was shown in the movie, they can be quite passionate about uh, mm, about football, but they can also be, well, sometimes they can be very aggressive.
It's a bit like a brotherhood, kind of.
Yes.
It's very, there are those actually, it's almost like a gang, kind of. There's recently even a film came out, actually a pretty good one, a Polish film, about like a specific football club. And well, there's violence in those clubs and all that, but they're definitely a very noticeable and I'd say important part of just like in Poland of even culture because everybody knows who like kibole because that's what we call them are. And it's kind of
Say that again.
Kibole.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's quite a negative term, but yeah, it's like what we call them because they spark a lot of controversy because well due to the violence and also stuff like that. But they're definitely great, like very big patriots, like also. So it's something along those lines. They're definitely very well, I don't know if strange, but you definitely recognize someone that's part of this like club when you're, I don't know, just in on the train, for example. It's like definitely they're the type of people where if they go, for example, onto the train, and I know an experience of my dad who was once traveling with his friend, and they were just surrounded by these guys, and it's to the point where they had their heads like tilted down because they didn't want to look into their eyes because they could basically be beaten up. And then when the train stopped, all those guys would get out of the train and basically start swaying it from side to side. They just like, yeah, so they're quite they spark a lot of controversy. But yeah, personally I don't think we had any encounter that's negative, but there are ones like that, definitely a lot.
But I think that this movie showed like the other side maybe of some people because we could see this man that is blind and he would just wanted to show his kid the passion about football. And I think I was surprised that he was a physiotherapist.
Physiotherapist trainer? Yeah.
Yes, physiotherapist when he's blind, and I was really surprised about it, and it showed like maybe the other side of some people because not everybody else is the same, and sometimes we can call like we can say that the whole group we can name the whole group all one name, but not everybody is acting the same. So yes, I think that it showed maybe a little bit empathy for some of those people, those football fans.
Yeah, the contrast of both the sort of violent, dangerous, and then this fragile, tender part in the foreground. I found that really, really compelling. One of the reasons why I chose it, especially because of the relationship with the father and the son, and feeling that folks could relate to football, and that would be an engaging subject for anyone who is viewing today. Sydney, how about you? Is football or soccer an engaging subject for you? Or I should say, you probably find engagement in it. How do you find engagement in it?
Well, I was thinking about the American sports culture, which I think has sides to it that can be similarly violent in a way. Of course, football here is a different sport, but my whole family were all Raiders fans, and they kind of have a notorious fan base. And the
And Raiders are from where?
Oakland. Well, they just moved. So, but they were originally from Oakland, and I'm from the Bay Area. They just moved to Las Vegas, though, which is in Nevada. Um, but in terms of engaging with it, it's very interesting because I played softball when I was a kid. So did my sister. My sister was also a swimmer and a triathlete. So those sports have a little bit more of an individual kind of quality to them, especially swimming, and then I'm a dancer, as I said, and the interview and everything. But it's interesting. Sports like football or football, soccer, are so much more of a team. You know, I'm sure there's star players and everything, but the gameplay is more team oriented, and in that way, it's almost more warlike. Um, so yeah, I wonder how much the sort of structure of the game maybe changes our response to it. But
That's interesting. Your use of warlike battles head to head. That's fascinating. Jack, insight to
Yeah.
that?
Well, I'm a huge sports fan, so
You played football, didn't you?
I did play football. I played football Americano, not well. I did play soccer a little bit, but I played football throughout high school. I didn't play soccer in high school, but I do relate to the fandom. I think it's oftentimes cultish because people are so passionate about their team, and it's almost like their family. And I could see that in the film, how they were getting almost violent in a way because you care so much about your team and you want your team to win so bad that it's like when you lose, you just get so mad. And I remember growing up, I like baseball too. And I think out of all sports, I think soccer or football, as we call it, is probably the most where fans get the most violent, just because I think teams don't score as much, so there's more. I think it's higher stakes, whereas baseball is very much a slow game. But growing up, I was a huge Giants fan, baseball, and I remember watching every game, and every time they lost, I would cry, and the whole day would be horrible for me. So I think fans, it's almost when it means that much to you, there's so many emotions,
Right.
Built in to each and every game. So yeah, it's interesting.
It can become a little vulgar.
Yeah.
I noticed that, and you might have questioned, wow, would you show this to young audiences? I would. Well, there's Henio, right? And the way I feel about films that may have some vulgarities expressed, I may warn in the front if there are young audiences. But I also feel that if these vulgarities aren't exchanged on a regular basis, or certainly not used at home, then the young person is going to wonder about them. But we guide them, their parent or whoever their guide is will also guide them around that vulgar expression and speak about it as something that is vulgar and therefore not used in regular company, as we say, but also used to incite, I guess, incite some aggression. And so I think it's important to show those things in a safe environment so that they can be also explored. Happens. Yeah. Sophie and Louisa, how close is Watch to Suwałki? Because I think that's where it is, right? They're in Watch.
Yes, it was in Łódź. Well, Łódź is very far from Suwałki. I think like 7 hours, maybe.
Oh, okay. Okay, because Suwałki is in the north and Watch is closer to
Warsaw.
closer
Łódź
to Warsaw.
is like maybe hour and a half or like 2 hours from Warsaw. And Warsaw is around 4 hours from Suwałki. So, well, maybe not 7 hours, but 6 or 5, something like that. So it's pretty far.
Quite a long drive. And where did the match was where? Did you make out where the match was held? Was that in Watch and then the other team traveled there, or did they travel to the other team?
I think at the beginning they were. It wasn't in Łódź. I think it was in somewhere else. Maybe, but at the end, I think that it was filmed in Łódź, but I'm not sure because I don't know. I don't really. I even didn't even know that there was a football club like this. So it's something new to me.
I think this team is number 2 in the Liga, in the league. That's one of the words that I got is Liga. And I think the other team was Poznan. Which
Yes,
is
and the most popular is Legia Warszawa
Jagiellonia.
and Jagiellonia.
Jagiellonia to, it's like more near to us, it's Białystok.
Yes,
Jagiellonia.
Białystok is like
The capital of our
voivodeship.
yeah.
Oh,
So
your
it's like-
Voivodeship is your region, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. And then it's a Warsaw team that is leading the country, right?
Yeah,
Leading-
yeah.
Okay. And this Watch team is the second one, so that maybe that's what they were doing. A big battle. Yeah. Well, I recommend watching more films on that Andrzej Wajda Studio station